from a broader perspective. This is occurring all over your planet at this time. These beings are coming with a mission, and many of them have not descended on the planet before, meaning that they have not incarnated in this way, and they are willing and have raised their hands, in a sense, to come at this moment to support a quantum leap in consciousness, and will carry inside of their being profound capabilities that have not been active within the human race to date. All right, good afternoon and welcome everybody. Today is our Wednesday 3 o'clock free call. I am Kelly. I am known as the Angel Lady. Sometimes I'm walking around town and people run up to me. They're like, "Are you the Angel Lady?" I'm like, "I guess I am." So, my name's Kelly. As I said, I channel the Archangel Raphael. I've been doing it for 37 years, so a really long time. I just close my eyes. I can attune to Raphael's frequency. It comes through. Raphael will say, "Hello," just like that. And wherever you are in the world, whether you're on this call live with me right now or you're listening to this on YouTube, just say hello right back. And what that does is that connects you to the frequency of Archangel Raphael. Raphael is extraordinarily loving and compassionate, and it is the angel of healing. And so when you say hello, you connect with Raphael's vibration, and it supports you in healing physically, emotionally, mentally. I know a lot of times people think of Archangel Raphael as a male, and traditionally, like in the Christian tradition, it is thought that way. When I started channeling Raphael in the late 80s, Raphael said to me it had no gender. It was not a male or a female. It was a being of light, filled with love and a healing collective frequency. And that's often why you'll hear me say, when Raphael is coming through, because it is an angelic collective of healing vibrations and frequencies. And it is also shared with me that it is a spiral of light that descends on the planet to share loving messages with all of us. So that is what we're going to do today. And so we have lots of people here who have their hands up. I know many of you are watching this on Zoom, but if you would like to, I mean on YouTube, but if you would like to join our free membership, you can do that. And that gives you access to the Zoom link where people have their hands up and you can ask Raphael a question directly. Just a reminder, the questions are to be universal and pertinent to everyone in the audience. You're not going to ask if you're getting a new job next week or why your brother-in-law wants to buy that new car. I'm not in the business of predicting. I have no idea what the future will be, but Raphael certainly can give us a sense of where we are at on an energetic level on the planet and how we can move forward in the frequency of love. All right, so with that, I'm just going to begin. I'm going to close my eyes. I make some sounds. I will bring in Archangel Raphael. Jennifer, who's in our community today, will be hosting, and she will be monitoring people here on Zoom and opening the channels so that they can ask their question. Okay, ready to go. So let's just all take a nice deep breath through our nose. And a nice long exhale through the mouth. And when you come down to that long exhale, if you just want to hold on the exhale, really settles down the nervous system. And while you're taking a few of those inhales and exhales and holds, I will align my vibration with Raphael. Hello. We're very delighted to be here with you as we have been with all of you more often than usual in the coming days as you have been letting go and releasing and practicing the death process to be acquainted with that vibration in preparation to activating the avatar within. And so, with that, we are here and delighted to support you today and whatever it is that you are wanting to talk about. And so, what is it?
Hello, Angel Raphael. Thank you so very much for being with us again today. We really, really appreciate and are profoundly touched by what has been, at least this week, one of the most powerful channelings some of us have ever felt to date because of this death code that we're moving into and what this has brought through for so many of us. Between yesterday's activation and this morning's with Yeshua, we just are incredibly grateful for Kelly, for you, and the whole team for bringing this into our awareness and into our field, because many, many of us have just been feeling like we're moving through the brink of letting go and releasing and shedding so much. But then you gently guided us through into our full, complete wholeness and unification in a way that's very hard to define into words. So we're incredibly appreciative, and we're sure that quite a few people may have some questions about this and what they're moving through. So today we're going to pick up a little bit where we left off. Sanaya, apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If you can go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Thank you. Thank you. That was perfect. Archangel Raphael, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And thank you to the vessel, Kelly, as well, for the beautiful work that you all do. I felt guided to participate in the sacred womb light code, which was so profound and beautiful. And I am currently pregnant. So it was even more meaningful. And then I did the divine feminine one, and I'm currently doing the death light code just before baby is going to be born, which is going to be 25th of Feb. That's the due date. And my question is, what can Archangel Raphael tell us about the children that are coming in this year, and how we can parent them so that they can just have the most wonderful and abundant lives. Thank you.
Well, it is that this baby is prepared, and you have done so much, and we are in deep gratitude for your willingness to move through the healing processes that are allowing this very galactic star being of light to have everything and all possibilities to be fully fulfilled in its design and its purpose and its reason for being. This baby that is arriving for you is quite extraordinary. And although we cannot or do not want to go into depth around that, from a broader perspective, this is occurring all over your planet at this time. These beings are coming with a mission, and many of them have not descended on the planet before, meaning that they have not incarnated in this way, and they are willing and have raised their hands, in a sense, to come at this moment to support a quantum leap in consciousness, and will carry inside of their being profound capabilities that have not been active within the human race to date. And in the coming years, as they begin to grow and there is a deeper understanding of their frequency and the capacities that they hold and carry within their energetic field, they will be great teachers for so many around the globe, and it will open up and unlock unlock dormant gifts that are already open inside of them. You will look into the eyes of your baby and see the stars, for their eyes will be very deep and the depth will be profound, as if you are looking into the galaxy. When you look inside the eyes, the soul and its vibration will appear a bit differently. You will notice that in measurement, they will be in percentiles that are extraordinary or above average in their capacities. And yet, there will often be at times of quiet and stillness as they are observing their new environment. They come through with a lifting on the veil, meaning they do not have complete awareness of their origin, but they have glimpses that come in periodically as if they are receiving an update to their mission and the design of their protocols in which they are here to bring forward through the process of love and service. It is that the children that are arriving at this time on the planet will be here when many of you that are listening to this are no longer here, and the world will be very different. And they are aware that they are laying down what we call the foundation, the geometric structures, the patterns of the new world. You have seen all around you the collapsing and will continue to as there is great upheaval on your planet and things are becoming more chaotic as they begin to dissolve all around you. But in the dissolution of these old structures and energies, which many have been speaking of for a long period of time, there is exponential growth, new seeds rising, sprouts coming up from underneath the concrete to bring forth life. And that is these energies that are piercing through the old structures because their strength and the energy that is carried on a cellular level within their energetic body has the capacity to open up and to pass through places where one could not pass through before. The gifts that will be carried and the capacity for communication in all areas of their ways of being will be very different than the species you know of the human to date, for it will not be as external as it has been for all of you, but much more internal, meaning they will have an inner eye that will see in different ways that you see. They will have an inner ear that will hear in different ways than you hear. They will have an inner sense of touch and smell and taste, an inner knowing, a steadiness, an awareness. And when they come in contact with others who are carrying the same vibration, no words will be needed to be spoken, for there will just be a deep knowing and profound understanding that they come from the same galactic vibration and that they are carrying codes to awaken and to process higher dimensional vibrations on your earth. Your earth at this time is going through a rapid change. You are all greatly aware of this, for there is no surprise in that deep knowing and in that understanding. But it is the children that will carry you on their wings of light into a future in which you are more unified in a field of collective thinking, being, and understanding, in which love will be the energy that will propel you forward rather than division or fear or resentment or anger. You will notice in coming months that there will be energies trying to grasp on to those last ways of being, the old guard beginning to fall away, its brute and strength and need and want to control or to bully or to grab or to play amongst power will be noticeable as it will rise for a period of time. And yet money across the planet will not allow this, as their hearts in love will rise higher and these energies will begin to slip away and die. For as you are moving through this death code, it is the death of the ego, the mini death of the old ways of being, but from a larger global perspective on your planet, it is the death of a whole way way of being, of power and ego and domination. And as that begins to fall away, and yes, there will be a pushing against it, it will not fall easily, for it is used to its power and its grip, but it is the vibration of the new children that are arriving simply in their stillness, in their sweetness, and in their presence will carry an energy that will support the blanketing of your earth and your planet with a vibration in which will rise it to such a degree that the old guards and old energies and dominations and ways of being will have nothing to attach themselves to, nothing to grip onto, because the elevation and the splitting will have occurred. So for you, we want to acknowledge that you have done everything to prepare a welcoming and beautiful space emotionally, physically, and on all levels for this child who will be arriving and is quite extraordinary and special. You are asking, what is it that you can do to help the child, and simply loving it unconditionally with absolute acceptance for who it is in itself is enough, and being present. These children in particular, it is quite important for them to spend large periods of time outside and to be connected to the elements of fire and water and air and earth and ether itself, to disconnect them and keep them at bay from the technology that is rising on your planet and the artificial intelligence that will become quite dominant in their human experience. They will take leaps and bounds ahead of the collective if they are denied access to some of this in the early parts of their human experience, where they are deeply engaged in natural settings, where the sun is beating on their face and their feet are in the water, and they are laying in the grass and smelling the flowers and looking at the birds and being in the stillness. If they get attached at an early age to the electronic world, it will start to dismantle their original gifts, making it difficult for the unfoldment of their purpose, because they could get bogged down and closed off as circuits get shut down by these other energies. And so we encourage you and all parents who are bringing in these magnificent beings at this time to have quite a diligent discipline around the fact of the great importance for their interaction with the elements and the natural world as your primary focus, along with listening to music, feeling touch, and seeing sights of energy. They will be able to see in very different ways, and their perception is different. It is also important for them to be acquainted with the dark so that they can see at nighttime and connect with the owls in the evening or walk in the moonlight, not to fear the darkness itself, but to begin to feel into the presence of that emptiness. Their world will be filled with distraction, algorithms, and technologies, and the base that you can give them for the foundation of their experience so that their biology can adapt to the changing world is to open the space of their creativity, their genius gifts that reside inside, that are activated by the natural world. And so we encourage you to connect with that in this way and to disengage from any norms or shoulds that one feels one must abide to in the structures of society in order to be what might be perceived as normal, or to take the traditional route. For education around your planet will be changing very rapidly, and institutions that were once admired as great places of wisdom wisdom will begin to crumble and new ones will arise that will be around the ecosystem and the reverence of the spirit that resides in the stones and in the trees and in the sacred sites and in the water and in all of the elements. We recognize we are speaking for a longer period of time in the answering of this question, but we find it to be essential, vital, and of the most and greatest importance at this time, because it is that the children arriving are beacons of light that will be opening pathways and corridors that will create great repair around your planet. And the importance as the custodians and the parents of these children is simply to love them and allow them to unfold. They will often share with you around the age of 3 an experience or a memory of where it is that they came from in the words that they have to gather, to share, an encouragement to explore that and to begin to document it so that you may keep the gateway and the doors open and the veil thin between the realms and the connection for them to their home planet, their star family. For you will be their family here, and yet they have another family as well. And they have come on a very long journey to arrive on this planet at this specific moment in time to be a conduit of love and unity. It is easy to get distracted or to feel overwhelmed by the daily needs of a mother and a family, or wanting to disengage or place them on a television or a device so that one can have a break. And we understand that this is something at times that may be needed, but it is very important to keep this to a minimum, for these children will benefit greatly from being bored and having to be in a place of emptiness and stillness, so that the creative forces and the blueprint and the design of the records of their purpose and journey for traveling can be met with enthusiasm, creative energy, and the implementation of their vibration, as they will rise then as great leaders to lead humanity forward in a state of love.
Wow. Thank you so much, Angel Raphael. That was an incredibly beautiful answer and really fleshes out the term "a little child shall lead us." So many of the children we can look to coming in now will really be our leaders. Okay, Wendy, if you're ready to unmute, you should be able to do that now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for taking my question. As the old earth and its institutions crumble and fall away, as you say, what will happen to our medium of exchange, like money? And what will we be doing to use a medium of exchange if we will need one at all? And how will that bring us into the future?
Well, there will be an interim of time to adapt to changes as the consciousness shifts. And there is a lot of worry about that interim period. After the interim period, there will be a time in which you will not exchange money as a currency in the way in which you do now, for the economy in which you are currently operating in will become obsolete. And there will be great changes in a short period of time, as artificial energies will be able to perform many things, and it will break open if you're able to hold a sense of ethical, moral conduit toward the implication of these energies. It will lead you into opening up space for innovative and creative energies and frequencies. It is that the communities will be built together in different ways, in domes and spheres of ecosystems and places of being that is very different from how it is that you are now. And it is that we want you to know not to worry about this money. Because many of you are worried that your money is in the stock market or in the bank, or that it will collapse or it will go away and you won't have any money. But if that were to occur, it will happen to everyone simultaneously all at once. And it is not that the entire planet would become destitute, for an emergence and a quick solution would arise and a change would happen at a rapid pace. So it is very important to release fear around the future and money and how it will work, and to worry about whether you will have it or you will not, and to trust in the unfoldment of what will take place, knowing that from the collective and much larger perspective, you are all moving to a place in which abundance will reign on your planet, as free energy will be something that will come into your awareness at a fairly rapid pace. And that will also begin to amplify the extinction of this separate hierarchical structural formation in which your societies to date have been built upon, as you will give birth to new ways of being, and your desires for material objects and things, and a sense of status in relationship to the ego and title and desire and idea of the material will not be as prevalent within your psyche, for the need for it will not be as strong, for you will have met other aspects within your emotional body that fulfill you on a deeper, more spiritual, profound level, in the fulfillment of your own energy and the design of your purpose, in which the need for the consuming economic forum that has been overshadowing you as a collective of purchasing many things and simultaneously disregarding them, creating pollution and lots of excess on your planet, will be shifting into a whole new way of being, as this old way will begin to disappear. And so we want to put aside at this now moment fears around money, fears around the future, and invite you all to focus on how you can be of service, aligning with your purpose, what is of great value and importance to you. Yes, creating beauty around you, and abundance and enjoyment, and even luxury if wanted or needed, to feel at ease and peaceful in blissful places that are beautiful, etc., is deeply allowed in a sense or supported. But things will shift in that more and more all around the planet will come into a state of having their needs met. All who will have food, all will have water, all will feel a sense of security and safety within their own being and energetic body as this transition takes place. In linear time, how long will it take for this transition to occur? It can take quite a bit of period of time, perhaps a few decades, until you can come into this new state of awareness. And so in the meantime, you might feel an uneasiness as the old forms and structures and banking systems shift and change. But you must trust in the fact that everything that you need will be provided for you, and that all that you have that is mirrored in your experience is in relationship to your consciousness and your knowing and your worthiness and the love that you carry for yourself and the reflection of that light on the planet. And so there is no worry of lack or discerning that things will fall apart and that you will be left on the side starving without things, or that in which you have saved will fall away, because you must remember that in itself is also an illusion. It is a number on a piece of paper or in a building in which you cannot touch. It does not really exist other than an energetic implant that you have convinced yourself that keeps you safe, that allows you to have an exchange of energy for the goods and services in which you are wanting at any time. And that energy that is exchanged in order for you to feel safe and abundant, to have everything, is dependent upon not the dollars in the bank or the euros in the bank, or whatever currency it may be, but the vibration that you carry brings you into the flow of magnetism in which everything in your experience comes in divinely and in the perfect moment to provide for you every and all things that are needed at any given time. We recognize again our answer is long, but this is an in-depth subject in which we could speak on for a long period of time. But we also were wanting you to know that there was a time in which before you dropped into a state of fear, where you as a collective remembered that you were the master creators of your experience, and that abundance and energy and everything that was needed was provided for you. And until you lost that trust and you forgot that it was always provided, and you felt that you had to move into separation and individualization in order to create on your own and to compete against one another, you fell into a state of lack in which you were always striving for something more. And once that something more was reached, you were striving for another and another, as if the carrot was in front of you, always just out of reach for the next thing, or the bigger bank account, or more to have. But that vibration is disappearing as you are realizing that in the quickening of a moment, the creation comes from not outside, but from within, for it is simply a mirror of your vibration, and anything in which you are needing to feel in a sense of safety and to feel content and full within your belly, provided for in an abundant way, is and always has been and always will be provided for you, as long as you know that that is true.
Wow, that was incredibly powerful. Thank you so much, Angel Raphael. I think many, many people have been concerned about that issue. Angel, again, apologies if I'm not saying it correctly, but if you could go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hello, Raphael.
Hello.
Thank you for all your time you spend here with us and all your teachings. Um, I'm good with death. I've always been extremely good with death. And sitting and realizing how good I am with death, I realized my actual fear and terror is around living. And I've also realized that I think that's a big hindrance for me to be really grounded. And I've really worked hard on grounding. So I've been listening to your teachings on Metatron's Cube and working with that, and they're really great. And the question I have is, you speak about separating from the physicality of Earth, and I get that, but could you kind of maybe help me out with understanding how to stay grounded while doing that?
It is interesting that you feel as if you are not grounded, because when we tap into your energetic field, you are actually quite grounded. And so, yes, it is important to connect with the cube in Metatron's cube, to go into the center, into the core. We want to provide to you the Earth Star light code as our gift to help you to ground, to bring that cord down and to anchor it into the cube. You have a strong capacity and relationship to the earth, but you have in many lifetimes had difficulty in that something happened to you as a shaman. And these magical and powerful healing and shamanic qualities that were grounded in drumming and presence and in the animal kingdom, in the medicine wheel, in the crystals and the frequencies and the depth and the soil of the earth are at the core of your soul. And yet, due to this experience in another lifetime that was deeply traumatic and unsettling, you disconnected from those core gifts and found yourself up in the higher realms and floating above the body. That is why you feel connected to the death realm, because it feels more peaceful, more easy, because there is a fear on some level to energetically drop back down into the body and to be empowered in the authentic gifts that are inside of you that you carry, for fear that the cycle of a past reoccurrence will take place, although that is unconscious. You have arrived in our field and experience in this now moment for us to provide this message for you, so that you may know and be assured that the repeat of the cycle of what had happened to you in this lifetime is not your journey in this lifetime, but that simply if you are willing to embody, to own the gifts of the drumming, of the medicine, of the animals, of the dirt, of the crystals, of the power, of the healer that you are, grounded deep in the depths of your being again, that will break that cycle and you will be anchored and locked into a frequency that will unfold magical things for you along your path and assist others on theirs. So we encourage you to own this, to recognize that the repeating of that cycle has fallen away, the death of that old way of being has taken place, and that yes, it is that Metatron and his cube and the Platonic solids can assist you in the formation of the foundation and the structure of that energy. But more so, we encourage you to connect with the outside world, with the elements, with nature, with the birds flying above and the soil beneath your feet, grounding into the anchoring of the world beneath you, into the earth star chakra, and to embody the shamanic vibration that runs through your blood, through your lineage, through your vibration, and to own it fearlessly and to move forward as the warrior of light that you are.
Wow, Angel Raphael, these are absolutely astounding messages today. Warren, if you're able to unmute, we'll go ahead and take your question.
There, you hear me now?
We can. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Angel Raphael. How are you?
Oh, hello.
Hi. My question was, as many of us are having our awakening experiences, mine specifically started around August. I just want to ask you about angel numbers and what I call palindromic numbers, so numbers that read the same front and back. Does the frequency at which we see them have more of a meaning than if we just happen to catch one at like once in a while? Does it really matter? Or does the frequency have a specific meaning for that person?
There are different ways in which energy can beckon your attention. And when one is on the beginning of their journey, often they will notice the synchronicities in the way that is as ease for spirit to present it. And one, of course, is numbers. And as the number comes into your experience, you begin to attune to its energy and vibration. And as you give attention to it, it begins to multiply, meaning all of a sudden, you are attuning to it and it is mirroring itself. You are attracted to it and it is appearing wherever it is that you are. And the more it appears and the more relevant its frequency in a culmination of continuing to show up is taking place, yes, the more relevance it has and the more potency it has. However, if you draw great significance to an energy or a number that is appearing on a singular note at one time, that too may have also potency and profound implications as an awareness of or signaling to you something. And so it is not so much how much it is showing, but perhaps how much it needs to show in order to get your attention. And so if it is getting your attention immediately and you are able to put credence to it without needing more and more validation in order to feel that it is real, then it only has to come once. But if one needing to be beat over the head a bit to feel the sense of the importance around it, it will show up over and over and over again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is it Taman? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
No, that's perfect. Hi. Hello. Hello. Sorry, Nisa, that's okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Kelly, Raphael team. Hello. My question. Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. My question revolves around channeling and how we can all do it on an individual level, specifically in regards to animal healing, getting in touch with our animals and those with no voices. I have a nonverbal autistic stepson who is not feeling well, and how can we help those around us who cannot tell us their physical ailments? Thank you.
Well, of course, it is of great importance for you to be centered, to be with the energy of your prana, to be moving with speed and clarity inside of your own energetic body, to come into presence and into inner stillness so that you can be with the elements and the beings. This energy that you speak of your nonverbal autistic stepson, is very powerful and profound, and he is teaching you. You are wondering how it is that you may channel and to become a clearer channel, and he can guide you in this, for he is channeling a conduit of very healing energy that he can use also to facilitate healing within his own body. There is no worry about that he is not feeling well in this now moment, for that is the unfolding of his own cleansing process that is taking place at this time. But it is that your willingness to begin to bring coherence to your frequency is of great importance if you are to receive these inner knowings and these messages. As your energy appeared here, it was at a very high pitched vibration, and then it began to settle and to drop into a deeper sense of self. And so, although we recognize that we are not supposed to, for the rules of communicating on a personal level, we are wanting to encourage you to drop into your body more and to step into the mirrored reflection of the profound energy of your own authenticity. For there is something here in which you cannot always regulate, and it is of importance to bring the culmination of these energies that at times are a bit everywhere and scattered, and start to collect them. For there are parts here of self that are asking to be invited and collected back into the wholeness. And if you are able to gather these vibrations and bring them inward into the center column of your tube of light that runs through the base of your spine and out to your crown, then that channel will begin to flow and with energy and the information of ancient codings and signals that are coming from others and also from your stepson and also from the elemental kingdom will be able to interface with you in a way that you will be able to share it through opening your vessel. But a refinement right now is needed, and that refinement requires a willingness to come really into your power, to ground much more into the body, to anchor down into the core and the earth star beneath you, and to feel a deep sense of presence here on the earth, and to collect aspects of self that at times can feel a bit scattered, that are moving in multiple directions so that it can synthesize and come into a coherent field within your energetic body in order for you to and feel the facilitation necessary in order to share the healing gifts that reside within.
Great. Thank you, Angel Raphael. Connie, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Archangel Raphael.
Hello, hello.
My question is, about a month and a half ago, I heard from Drumbalo Melchizedek. I'm sure you know who he is, um, who had disappeared for a long time. And then when I came across him, he mentioned that we have a brand new sun. And I have noticed when I do sun gazing, as you suggested, that the sound is that the sun is bigger and brighter. So I was wondering if there's anything you can share about that. I'm sorry about the dogs.
Well, there is truth in what it is that Melchizedek is sharing with all of you. And you will have noticed that there are changes in your sun and amplifications and a greater activity. And it is making itself, in a sense, more known. And that is because it is interfacing with interstellar objects. It is interfacing with galactic beings. It is the conduit, it is the plasmic light, it is the energy that is carrying codes that are deeply and profoundly supportive in the ascension process for you as a collective. And so it is new in the sense that your interfacing and connection to it, it has amplified, has expanded, for it has always been a source of life for your planet and for you, for without it, you would not exist, nor would Mother Earth. And yet it had many practical applications for your biology, your healing, your growing, your food, your cycles, and your life. But what has shifted is that now it is participating actively and consciously in the awakening of the consciousness of humanity by sending ancient codes and information, because its flares, which is something you call them, and rays are being encoded with information in a way that is being received not just on a biological and cellular level, but on a conscious level, in which it is supporting the evolution of you as a species in your collective consciousness, not just on a level of photosynthesis or biology or healing. Yes, it is new, but it is more than it is actually new, just like you are not new, but you are new from who it was and what you were perhaps several years ago through your own awakening process and the way in which you interact with others and what it is that you bring. And so, in that sense, yes, it is interacting in new ways.
Mm. Thank you, Angel Raphael. If Kelly's okay and we have time for one or two more, we can keep going with time, but just want to check in and make sure her energy is still doing all right. All right.
Oh, perhaps one for now.
Okay. Leslie, if you can go ahead and take yourself off of mute, please.
Yes, hello, Raphael, Kelly. I love you so much. This is my very first time on live, even though I've been with you for over a year and a half now. My question is can you speak to light language? People around me seem to be activating, and there seems to be an energetic power to it. Why is it becoming more prevalent now?
Because it unifies you all. There is no separation in it. You are not identified as German or French or English or Portuguese. Or Aborigine, or whatever it may be, or Japanese. Light language is universal, it is the unifier. It unifies and brings you all together with the capacity to open in a way in which there is flow, where the ancient language of the tone, the frequencies, the codes, and the energy move through. And without intellectualizing what it is that you are receiving or hearing, you can respond. And so you're not responding through the mind, but the heart. And as you respond in this way, it begins to create a coherence in the collective. And so an awakening of this language is taking place around the planet. And at first, it might come through and sound like gibberish, wondering if it is truly light language or what it is. And at first, it may not feel like anything or a deep understanding of what it is sharing. But when it is allowed to be passed through and the surrendering happens and an opening takes place for it to move through the body, it unlocks codes and awakens patterns and DNA. And it begins to expand you into unification with one another. It is like a golden thread moving like light around the planet, creating a formation of communication that comes from not the mind but the heart, that is open from a frequency of surrender rather than contraction or control or determination in terms of lineation. It is holographic in nature. It is holistic rather than mechanistic. It is profound, important, and powerful. And so do not question it as it arises or moves through all of you, but allow it to flow with ease and grace and begin communing to one another, not needing to know what is being said, but the response simply coming from a guttural, energetic, deep, authentic space. And in doing so, as more and more step into the remembering of these ancient codes and languages of light, it'll begin to awaken in the hearts of many around your globe. And in doing so, it is one medium that unifies you back into a field of love and oneness. All right. And so for that, we send to you now all of our love and light from the angelic realm. We recognize as we pass through the code of the death during this time in the wintry months on the hemisphere of this side and on the other, that you pass into the time of the spring equinox when the flame of resurrection shall rise as the energies will propel you as you enter into the year, moving forward with momentum and great speed ahead, forging as light workers into the opening space of a collective field in which you choose each moment, every breath, every word, and every action from the frequency of love. With that, we send to you many blessings, much love, and good day. All right. Well, thank you all so much for jumping on the call today. My pleasure to be with all of you. Sending you all my love from me as Kelly and Archangel Raphael. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. If you're in the death code with us, we continue with class in the morning. If you want to take the death code, it's been pretty intense and profound. You can still catch up and sign up if you'd like. It's running 2 more weeks. In the meantime, have a beautiful evening. Much love to you all, and I'll see you next week. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.